Brand new boot from Bataleon. It's their first year going to the public. It's been my favorite boot of the line as it's the stiffest. I'm a big guy and put a lot of weight on my gear, but I've been super stoked. It's got the double BOA on it, so super easy to put on and off. One of the things I like the most about the boots is when you put them on first go, they're not overly stiff and they feel really nice. I was a little concerned that they were going to be soft, but once you tighten up the BOAs, it's super stiff. And I've been running this pair for Chile and New Zealand, maybe put 5 days on them so far, and they're just as stiff as when I first started riding them. This is my first run from New Zealand. One of my favorite things is pairing the really stiff boot with a kind of softer binding. So on this run, I'm running the fly binding. And I like that because it gives me a bit of hold in my ankle. Then if I want to tweak something like the Indy mid run, it gives me a bit of soft play to really poke that out. But I do love the hold that this boot has on bigger terrain. When I've rode this at the resort,
this is mental.
It's really nice because
literally...
I feel like at all times my ankle is kind of locked in place. The BOAs also are just a game changer as far as being able to loosen your boots on the lift or tighten them to exactly where you want them to be. But all in all, this has been one of my favorite boots. In the past, I've been riding Burton SLX or Ions, and I would say that this boot is up to par with the quality of those. I've been riding this boot since March, and I mostly rode it up in Alaska. So most of the time on this boot has been in bigger terrain, which I feel like is one of the best tests for a boot, because you really, when you're riding bigger terrain, you want something that's going to protect your ankle at all times and something that's comfortable. My feet are very sensitive to pressure points and whatnot, and one thing I did like about these is right when I put them on and I tighten them, I don't really feel a big difference. Like I have to break it in, like the break-in period on these, like I talked about that I put 5 days on these ones in Chile and New Zealand, which were my second pair, and it really didn't feel like there was any break-in period, which I feel like is one of the biggest things for any boot. I also have rode the Vans boot in the past, and one thing that I don't love about the Vans boot is that it's such a bulky exterior to where when you put it in your bindings, it almost doesn't fit. But I've found that this boot has got a super slim profile, similar to like the Burton SLX, where for someone like myself that is riding a bigger boot, I'm riding a size 11, it doesn't give me any toe and heel drag. So I feel like that is all different markers of what I look for in a boot, as far as, you know, comfortability, size of the boot shell, and then break-in period. And all these I found really nice in the acid. And then lastly, this boot overall just is warm and comfortable. And I feel like at the end of the day, that's what it really matters about, because if your feet aren't happy, it's hard to have a good day on the mountain. But hope this review helped you guys make a decision. I definitely recommend going to a shop and trying these on before anything. That's kind of what I like to do, is go to a shop, try on a couple different pairs of boots and see which one fits best. But I hope you guys learned something from this, and look forward to seeing you out on the slopes.